yesterday we discussed something about some process of NAC as well as some important KI, key indicators, and some important metrics and important criteria, and where we can focus during our entire NAC process. And after that, I think some myths about the NAC complexity, the nature of NAC, might have got diluted in your mind. That's what I feel, and that's my task, isn't it? Whatever the experiences you might have got till date about the NAC, I wish to make it clear that the NAC process is not at all complex or tedious or laborious as you feel. If you accept it from the bottom of your heart, then it is the most enjoyable process. Let me clear that. Now today, all of us are into VUCA world, isn't it? You will agree with me that V stands for volatility, U stands for uncertainty, C stands for complexity, and A stands for ambiguity. Now, as far as these earlier two things are concerned, volatility and uncertainty, those may not be applicable to NAC because there is nothing uncertain about NAC now, isn't it? It is certain and we have to do it by any way. But what about complexity? Yes, there is complexity. And if we try to understand the nature of it, the complexity of it, and we accept it positively, then it will be easier for us to remove the complexity out of it, out of this entire process. Now, what about ambiguity? Ambiguity may be there because whatever the metrics have been mentioned in the NAC manual, meaning of every metric may be different to every individual. Individual to individual, institute to institute, the meaning may be different. And according to those meanings, you go ahead and you put the material and you make your SSR and upload it. That's the way it happens, the procedure happens. My effort is to make you understand what is the expectation of NAC behind that particular metric, so that the thinking of NAC experts and thinking of you as an accuracy coordinator or a principal of your college, your thinking will match somewhere, isn't it? If your thinking is not matching with the NAC people, then there is a problem, and while calculating the grade, calculating the marks, you may get affected. So I'm trying to minimize the ambiguity from this, the meaning of all of these metrics. Today, what we are going to concentrate is criterion number 7, the most ambiguous criteria. Most ambiguous. Okay. If you look at the number of KIs, there are only 3 KI, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, only 3 KIs are there, which means that way it is the smallest criterion, but it contains large data. 7.1 is quantitative, which is for 50 points, and there are many quantitative metrics for which you need to literally you need to fight for single mark, 1 mark, 2 marks, 1 mark, 2 marks. That way the number of metrics are there, quantitative metrics. When we go to 7.2, 7.2 narrates something about best practices of the institution, and that becomes the most ambiguous area. Why? Because routinely we do conduct many activities at our college. We keep students at the center, and for the benefit of the students, we we conduct the activities. We involve students in our activities. We involve the various departments and the faculty members, sometimes non-teaching staff also, in our activities. But still, when we sit to identify the best practices of our college and to write something about it for 1,000 words, and such 2 best practices are to be identified and narrated, then it becomes complex as well as ambiguous. Today, what I am going to do is Today I'm going to show you the entire ocean of the best practices. Basically, what is the best practice? I have changed the slide. Is it visible once I change the slide? I have gone to the next slide. Dr. Deepak? The slide is visible. Next slide is visible.
No, sir. It's on the first slide only.
It's on first slide only. Okay.
Now it's visible.
Now it's visible. Okay. Fine. We'll continue with this mode of presentation only. The best practice is defined, which is in front of you, defined as this. The practices which are evolved internally by the institution, please understand this, underline, there is a meaning for this underline, okay, and concentrate on these words. Internally by the institution. These practices are evolved by yourself. These practices are evolved by the institution, and institution to institution, the practices will differ, definitely. Leading to improvements in any one aspect of its functioning. There are three aspects which have been identified by NAAC. First aspect is the academic aspect, second is the administration, and third is the overall organizational aspect. So whatever the practice you have evolved, if that practice is contributing towards the development or the improvement in any one of these three areas, will be considered as your best practice. Over a period of time, due to such unique ways of functioning, each institution develops distinct characteristic which becomes its recognizable attribute. So when you practice this over a period of time, year by year, and you show some incremental improvements into this particular practice, this practice becomes your identity of the institution, isn't it? And the institution is recognized for that particular best practice. Immediately catch the hold of that practice and narrate the words about that practice for your NAAC purpose. Now look at the number of such best practices, because there is an, as I said earlier, there is an ocean of these best practices, and from this ocean we have to catch the pearls. मोती मोती ढूंढ के निकालना है, एक एक मोती ढूंढ के निकालना है पूरे समंदर में से. There is an ocean of all the best practices, and those that ocean has been distributed among these 7 areas. Look at this. Area number 1 is curricular aspects, which matches with your criteria number 1. Area number 2 is community engagement. You will find that it is somewhere to be mentioned, community engagement, particularly in the criteria number 6 and 7. Evaluation of students, criteria number 2, as well as criteria number 5. Internal quality assurance cell activities, IQAC activities, criteria number 6. Library and information services. Students' feedback and participation. Management practices. These are 7 areas, different areas, in which there are a number of activities. When you will see the list of all the best practices which are enlisted in each one of these areas, then you will understand, oh, so many activities we conduct at our college, but we never know that these are the best practices of us. I'm sure that this feeling will be there in almost everybody's mind, take it from me. If you have any queries, any doubts in your mind, immediately put it in the chat box, okay? At the end of the lecture, we will see the number of queries in that chat box. So keep your chat box open. And let's see, under curricular aspects, what are the number of activities that can be considered as the best practices. First of all, curriculum delivery by experiential learning. These are some typical words like experiential learning and curriculum delivery and whatnot. Very typical words. And the person who has gone through the manual of NAAC, manual of SSR, then these words you must have understood. Meaning, literal meaning of all these terminologies has been given in the glossary at the end of the manual. Experiential learning is nothing but you have to give some experience to the students. They should learn by experience, isn't it? Normally, how do we deliver the curriculum? We deliver the curriculum whether it is offline or online. The topics of the curriculum are put on the PowerPoint presentation, and those topics are explained to the students. There is monologue. Only teacher is speaking about those topics, trying to explain to the students. Okay, there is no involvement of students, and that's the reason students are detached from this teaching learning process. If you wish to attract them and if you wish to tie them with you, if you in this process, you will have to take help of some experiential learning. Now, what is this experiential learning? How can you give this experience? The most effective way of experiential learning is role plays. If you can devise some role play for any one of your topics, okay, may it be science, may it be commerce, may it be arts, anything. In case of particularly science and commerce, I would like to say that you can create the situations. You can show the applications, application of some reaction, application of some certain chemical, application of something in your physics or chemistry or biology or zoology, everything, anything. Out of that, you can create some role play. You can create some application first of all, and once you can devise some application, then you can create some scene for the students, involve the students, and give certain particular role to that particular student. Okay, and you can call it as a small drama. Okay, role play as a drama for 10 to 15 minutes. You can play it in front of entire class, and once it is done, you can take feedback from the students that what you have understood out of this. This is the most effective way of delivery of the curriculum. Otherwise, like you can share the case studies with your students. If some case studies are available, you can give those case studies to the students earlier, prior to the discussion. You can give those case studies for a week before or 2 weeks before for study purpose. The students are expected to study those cases. Cases are nothing but the real world experiences, or they are the excerpts from the real world, some examples from the real world, which are described in the story form. And once those cases are read by the students, those cases can be discussed, or you do not give any presentation on the case as a faculty member. You ask the students to present on it, understand their understanding about the case study, and then give your expert opinion into it. They will feel something. They will feel that we are involved in the process, and they will get attached towards your teaching and learning process. Additionally, you can have the simulation studies. You can create the simulations, and for in that particular situation, you can put your students and you can go for the experiential learning. If you are doing this, consider it as your best practice.